our next step is to create some strips, and I have already pre-cut some red strips, and I have my blue sheet here, and I want to use two colors for my decoration unit, just so I can give you guys an idea of what I mean by what colors you choose for the hinge is what's visually exposed, and what color you use for the scaffolding, which makes the triangle, it is the what's suggested or gives accent. It's a little bit of a color peeking through. Once you get the strips, I'm going to show you how you're going to fold them into this accordion like manner, which, you know, I guess you can call it like a snake folding of some sort. But this is what creates those little squares. And you can see that at the very end, I do have a little bit that I need to cut off right here. And you want to try and do this as perfect as possible, as precise. Okay, so when we're cutting this, sure, you could always fold it really well and then dampen this edge and then try to do a tear, you know, to open, you know, to cut the piece out as a tear, but it's just not going to be very clean. You know, you want it to be clean, clean edges. So I do suggest that you use an X-Acto knife and a ruler. This is a rotary X-Acto knife, meaning that it's an X-Acto knife that is a circle, but you can use a regular X-Acto knife, and you just want to be, you know, you want to do this right. You want to do this carefully. You don't want to be carefree about it. If you have a cutting board, not a cutting board, but yeah, a guillotine cutting board, yes, it makes your life so much easier. But if not, you can do it this way. This paper is thicker than regular copy paper, so, you know, maybe with the copy paper you can get away with folding and wetting the edge and then, you know, getting a nice column there, but I still recommend this method. So once you've cut a few strips, as I've done here, let me just cut one more. Okay, one more. All right. Once you've cut a few strips here, I'm going to show you now how we do that accordion fold. Okay, so you're going to get your two strips here, and you're going to line them up very carefully. In fact, I'm going to actually use a different color so that way you can see what's happening, and it makes it easy. But you want to make sure that it's really nice and aligned. And once it's aligned, I like to put my two fingers right there and kind of, you know, push this up a little bit, and then very gently with my finger in the back, right here, you see I'm doing like this, very gently start to suggest the fold. And already, right in the very beginning, you don't want this to fold like crooked or crooked this way. You want it to be in alignment right in there. And then the next piece, and the first two times that you do this, like right now it's still difficult, but after this you've created a certain thickness, and now it becomes easier to do this. And so as you're folding it, you can be turning it, and you just want to try to avoid this thing from the box from starting to turn like this or to twist. You want to keep it nice and straight and square, and you don't want it to twist as much. So you might think like, oh look, you know, twisting it, you know, like right now what I'm doing is I'll fold it over, and then my system is I'll turn it like this, and then I'll fold it and align it, you know, and I'll turn it, and I'll fold it, you can see there's a slight twisting already that's happening, and you know that's gonna kind of happen. You know, and if it does, and it's very slight, keep going. If it's very drastic, yeah, you may have to stop and readjust, or just start with some more new strips, and try your best not to have that happen again. Alrighty, so I should be done here. Wow, that one came out perfect, but this one probably is going to have a little bit of an overlap. And so with that overlap, I'm going to go ahead and go like this. Right, I'm creating that crease. This side, not really, not much. I should just leave it. This side, yeah, I'm going to have to cut that. So I'll go ahead and cut that. You know, and you can see this is what's happening. This is how we establish those squares that we need for the scaffolding and the hinges. So when you untwirl this, and be careful, you don't want to like pull it apart, because if you pull it apart, you could rip it. All right. So here are the squares. Okay. And I'm going to make the blue be my scaffold and the red be my hinge. So I'm going to count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm not going to get rid of this because I can use it to reverse the red and blue scaffold and hinge. And then over here I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I should use a ruler for this. Okay. So, you know, I've got 6 and 4. And I've got 6 and 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse it this way. So we got to create several of these. And according to the instructions, we're going to need 5 and 5. So yeah, you're going to have to create at least, you know, basically 5 strips that you cut 1 by 6, 1 by 4. That is, of course, if you do all the strips 1 inches, like I was showing you earlier.